We got shirts on sale. Express your evolution and starter Pokemon love by buying an Evolution Family shirt and Which One starter shirt. Link will be in the description below. Ash Ketchum's Rivals. He's got a lot of them, ranging from being friendly to even being a bit jerkish. Ash has made a lot of rivals over the course of him being a Pokemon trainer. Considering he has been traveling for quite some time and has been to quite a few regions, he has racked up quite the list of trainers that compete with him. Whether it be in leagues or just meeting up with some of these rivals in Ash's journey, to me, they have helped make the Pokemon anime more interesting and make it thrilling to watch them battle against Ash. Today, I want to talk about those rivals he's met over the years and give my opinion on each and every one of them. Note that I will not be talking about the movie rivals because I don't feel like they really have much of a significance compared to the ones solely based in the anime. They have had multiple appearances versus the movie rivals who I believe are not even canon to the main series. Anyways though, you guys know what's going to go down, let's get started with these opinions. This is Ash's OG rival, Gary motherfricking Oak. Everything about this guy just comes off as so snarky and is key for making a good rival actually. Gary has been Ash's rival for a long time and they've even been friends at one point too. They grew up together, so Gary pretty much knows his personality inside and out. That is why he is able to make him so upset. What I love about Gary is that the rivalry can definitely be seen with him and Ash, from the beginning all the way to the end. Gary always bragged to Ash about how he was Professor Oak's grandson and how he was the better trainer. Due to this, he always put him down. When Gary and Ash battled it out in the Johto League, you knew I was on the edge of my seat watching every little moment. You could feel the intensity of that battle. As a 7-year-old kid actually, I could feel it a lot. I wish we could have seen more of Richie. He came off as a pretty big rival to Ash, especially since he had Pokemon very similar to his. When you first meet Richie, you can tell he's a very genuine person and in my opinion, the perfect rival for Ash. They do wind up battling it out in the Indigo League and he is the one who actually causes Ash to lose. But I wish we could have seen him more in the future leagues. It was a perfectly missed opportunity, especially because he even had a cameo in the Johto series and even showed flashbacks of him from time to time. I really do miss Richie. Another rival that would have been cool to see again was Harrison. I really enjoyed him as a rival though, even though his time was only brief. Ash had seen for a while in the Johto League that Harrison was a skilled trainer. What's iconic about this rival too is that it defeated Ash's Charizard. I would have loved to see Harrison come back to the Hoenn League for a rematch against Ash. I remember Morrison, but it's very brief. He had a lot of spirit but lacked confidence in himself as a trainer. This especially showed in his match against Ash, but Ash was able to reignite his confidence and was able to make a great battle. I also remember Pikachu iron-tailing the crud out of Metang. Morrison was a fun rival to see. The only thing I can really remember about Tyson is his Meowth. His Meowth straight up looked like Puss in Boots from Shrek. If it's a reference to that, I respect Pokemon even more now. I guess I also do like the fact Tyson had a Donphan. This is Ash's best rival by far. Everything about this guy just makes him into the biggest jerk of all time. You thought Gary was a jerk? Yeah, right. At least Gary semi-cared about Ash. Paul belittled Ash in every way possible. He basically called Ash trash at every battle he had, and every time he saw him. This literally pushed Ash though. Paul made Ash into the almost best he has ever been. Ash performed so well in the Sinnoh League, even bringing back his previous Pokemon for the challenge. I respect Ash so much for only using his Sinnoh team against Paul though. All of his Sinnoh caught Pokemon wanted to prove to Paul they were great, and they'd proved Paul wrong alright. And seeing Ash win that battle was awesome. That battle was easily on par with Gary. I will say though, him getting crushed by Pyramid King Brandon was pretty funny to see. Ash had trouble with him, but at least he was able to get a comeback. Barry in the anime is the perfect representation of how he is in the games. He is such a goofy guy but still displays traits as a great rival. For these reasons, I admire Barry a lot. Oh, and he still talks about finding people, which I still find super hilarious. I remember Nando due to his harp, and I remember his Cricketune also being with him playing its little instrument. It was also cool to see Nando be a rival to Dawn as well. He was a coordinator and a battler. Definitely a unique twist. Tobias is the biggest cheater in the world. I mean, I don't really mean that he's a cheater, but I mean, I think he's insanely broken. At least Ash was able to take down his Darkrai where no one else in the league who battled him could. Pikachu even beat a legendary Pokemon being Laudio, so that was even an epic battle to watch. What other Pokemon could be on his team though? What does he have? Some people seem to think Entei or maybe even Raikou because it actually hasn't had a super heavy appearance yet. Who knows what he has? I hope we do find out someday. I didn't really watch the Unova anime at all, but there's the meme that this kid's level 5 Snivy beat Pikachu. I hated this battle. Throughout the Unova series, he continued to belittle Ash, but at least Ash won Trip's respect in the end, and even managed to defeat him, so I guess props to Ash. I really don't know much about Cameron, but I liked the match he had with Ash. It was a close one, and I love the fact his Riolu evolved into Lucario during that battle. Steven. I do remember he was a fun rival. He had an arsenal of really neat Pokemon, and I always laughed every time Ash called him Stefan. Virgil is a really interesting rival. I don't know much about him either, other than the fact he winded up winning the Unova League and winded up being Cameron. He also had a full team of evolutions. So, I mean, I respect him a lot for that. As an evolution connoisseur, I accept you, my good sir. Once again, I feel Bianca is just like how she is in the Pokemon games. She's kind of a klutz, but she's a real dedicated trainer and has a great work ethic about her. Ash's interactions with her in the anime embody how she is in the games too. I like Bianca a lot, actually. I loved how in the Pokemon X and Y anime, they actually made the rivals into rivals. In the games, Tierno has no personality. The anime makes it so he does have a personality. The way how he battles, the way he dances, everything about him you can see his passion for. He's actually got a personality here, and that's what I love to see. It's also pretty neat that we were able to see actual dancing Pokemon on his team like Ludicolo. Just like I said about Tierno, we actually got to see Trevor's personality outside of wanting to complete his Pokedex. I love this about the X and Y anime. It actually breathed life into these dummies. Tierno has a solid Pokemon team too. A Charizard, Aerodactyl, and Florges. What a guy. Alon, one of the most iconic rivals Ash ever had. He has the power to Mega Evolve his Pokemon and has a reputation of being ridiculously strong. He battled Steven and many other trainers that have the ability to Mega Evolve. All those battles were epic, and I was really on the edge of my seat watching all of them. Though we don't see a lot of interaction between him and Ash, you can still see Ash considered him as a deadly opponent. I'm also going to say X and Y Ash is best Ash. Don't at me. This was him at his peak, in his prime. I know I mentioned earlier that the Sinnoh Ash was the best one. No, not at all. This is definitely the one. He had a Goodra, a Talonflame, Noivern, and the most iconic one being his Greninja. He even had a unique form for his Greninja called Ash Greninja. He took Greninja and fought against Alon and his Mega Charizard X. Even though he did lose, it was still a great fight to watch nonetheless. Alon is one of my favorite characters, and I hope we get to see him again. I love the relationship between Ash and Sawyer. They have a very friendly relationship, but you can also see the rivalry as well. Ash should actually help Sawyer gain confidence with his battling. Sawyer can also use Mega Evolution himself. He has an awesome Mega Sceptile. Fun fact about Sawyer too, is that he is actually from Hoenn. He went to Professor Birch's lab in Littleroot Town and wound up choosing Trico as his first Pokemon. A little after he started his journey, he wound up battling a wild Taillow, and shortly after he met Steven and his Metagross. I really appreciate the backstory the Pokemon anime goes into with Sawyer, especially because I watched the X and Y anime more often than I did the other Pokemon animes when it was out. I love the throwback, but I want more throwback. I want to know more about his Hoenn Pokemon journey. From when I first laid eyes on him, I thought he was going to be a spoiled rich brat, but I was actually wrong about him. He's actually a pretty genuine guy and actually considers Ash as a decent friend. I used to dislike Gladion so much. Now since I have seen his anime self, I have grown to like him a lot actually. He is truly a great trainer and a well-respected rival for Ash. He comes off as stern, but he has a compassionate side for his family as he cares for them a lot. I love the inspiration Ash's Rockruff got from Gladion's Lycanroc to want to evolve. Gladion is awesome. I love his attitude and the way he treats Ash. Another example of why I really appreciate Gladion is because of his Savalite. His Savalite is one of the keys to stopping the Ultra Beast spread across Alola. That means we're actually going to be seeing more of Gladion and this awesome sidekick he has. From what I have seen so far as well, he has a lot of character development. I am ecstatic to watch him and Ash battle it out in the Alola League. Maybe we will see both Lycanroc duke it out. Who knows? I appreciate Gladion because he makes Ash turn back into the Ash I loved as a kid. So thank you, Gladion, for helping me love the Pokemon Sun and Moon anime. It is my favorite of all time, primarily because of him actually. He is an example of one of my favorite rivals and best rivals in all of Pokemon. Oh, and he also has an Umbreon too, so that's pretty cool. Not like that isn't my favorite Pokemon or anything, not being biased at all. Just like in the games, I'm not a humongous fan of Hal. He's only seen briefly in the anime. I wish he could be seen more often as he plays such a role in the Sun and Moon games. Maybe if they show him more, I would like him, kind of like how I did with Gladion. Well, those were my opinions on all of Ash Ketchum's rivals in the main series part of the Pokemon anime. I don't dislike any of the rivals at all, because all of them played their part for making the Pokemon anime more interesting and spicy. With all that being said, I like each and every one of Ash's rivals. One more small notion I would like to add in is that I know Ash had a rival in the movie I Choose You. The problem is, I have never seen the movie, but from what I could see, he was kind of a jerk. So I guess my opinion of him will kind of be mixed. I also heard the I Choose You movie isn't all that great, so I'm debating on whether or not to see it. You guys should tell me in the comments below whether or not I should watch it. What are your favorite rivals from the Pokemon anime though? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, why not leave a like and subscribe to my channel with notifications on, that way you never miss an upload. If you want to support me further, consider following my Twitch where I stream a lot of Pokemon content and Nintendo content like shiny hunting, showdown battles, Explorers of Sky, Zelda, Fire Emblem, Smash Brothers, Borderlands, you name it, I play it. Want to support me further in Game Club perks? Check out my Patreon. Daniel Leone, Lady Crimson, Pal491, The Lazy Leo, Matthew Young, Awesome Lego, Jarrett Weezosted, and Sodden Grider did, and I want to thank them personally for going above and beyond. It means the world to me. I think I'm gonna wrap this up though. I'm Mr. Gumbrian, and I will see you in the future for more awesome Pokemon content.